Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know, this is Sharon Buck, and I'm coming live to you from my garden, one of my favorite places to be. I'm with the Empowered Empath Entrepreneurs Group, and I am an intuitive sound alchemist, and I work to transform and transmute any blocks in people's fields, basically in their lives, particularly entrepreneurs who feel stuck in moving forward in their business. And it's really important work. As I've posted this week, we are our business. And if we don't take good care of ourselves, we are not going to be good entrepreneurs, to put it mildly. So this is, a little bit of a self-care talk, but really more specific than that. I'm going to talk more about how our nervous system is wired and what we can do to kind of adjust some of that. Um, so anyway, how it is that we become more aware of what is holding us back, and how we can get more clarity so we can move forward. That's kind of what this talk is about. It's our inner barometer, knowing when it's off, when something is off, and then how to move forward. And so I'll be talking about that today. So, of course, when we don't take good care of ourselves, we just everything suffers, and our business suffers along with it. And self-awareness is key. Getting into our bodies is key to this. And so many of us get into our minds and our thinking, and we can go around and around, up and down like a roller coaster, round and around like a hamster wheel. It's just not very productive most of the time. And I'm as guilty of that as the next person. I have to bring myself back into my body, into what's going on. And our bodies house our feelings, our emotions. This is how we experience them. And if we don't even know what's going on, how can we even address any of it? So, working with clients, I see this over and over again, how we get into worry, we get into thinking, planning, obsessing, and it's just overall not helpful in the long run. So, how do we get past this? It's not by doing more thinking, it's not by doing more mindset work. I'm a fan of mindset work. It's powerful, but there's more. We can go deeper, and this is my work. It's about getting to the root cause of what's keeping us and holding us back. Let's face it, we all want to live a fuller life. We all want to follow our dreams, our purpose, and be of use to other people, because that gives us joy. That gives us a reason for getting up in the morning. I know that's true for me. I'm not saying I wake up in the morning going, oh, good, I get to go on Facebook Live. It's still a little bit of a strange thing for me, because I'm talking to the void. So, if you're here in the void with me, I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching, and just say hi, where you're coming from, and just so I know I'm not here talking to the void. But anyway, it really doesn't matter. I'm here anyway, because I know some of you probably catch the replay, and that's fine. Um, so back to, how, coming back into the first thing that I do is, how am I doing today? Even before I get out of bed, how am I doing today? And I have this little communication with myself. And it's going into the body part of it for me. It's not the thinking mind. Okay, what do I have to do next? Or what do I need to get an idea here to talk about for Facebook Live or whatever. My computer's jiggling, because when I laugh, it literally is jiggling with me, because it's on my lap. So I'm trying not to do that. Um, I don't think giggling matters, but I mean, I think it's a good thing. But if our battery is undercharged, it will show up in our lives and in our business. So if we name the feeling, if we just start with naming the feeling, even that is difficult for a lot of people, because they say, well, I'm anxious, or I'm depressed, or I'm worried, or I can't get any traction, or whatever it is. Um, the truth is, we need to break it down to the most basic of feelings. And I learned this long ago in therapy. The four main feelings are glad, sad, mad, and scared. That's basically it. Just about everything breaks down into that. I mean, anxiety, that's fear, that's scare. If I'm excited, then that falls into the glad piece, probably, most likely, right? Um, and so these are the basic feelings we come into the world with. And all you have to do is watch a baby or, or a young child. And if they're not happy, you will know it. There's no question. You will know it. They'll have a tantrum. Or if they're excited, they'll be jumping up and down with joy. And what's the common words they hear sometimes from people? Oh, calm it down, bring it down, settle down. And so we learn very early on that, oh, I'm not supposed to feel that. That's not okay. So these are the basic emotions. So if you can go down underneath what this is, where are you feeling it? And then like, where are you feeling it in your body? So anger, I feel it in my solar plexus most of the time, like, ugh, got to get this out. You can feel it. Sadness, I often feel in my throat. Sometimes a lot of times I'll feel it in my heart. It can move around. It varies from person to person a little bit, but we can all get in touch with, I think, with what's going on. So the important little science piece for the day is that this has to do with the vagus nerve. And it's not Las Vegas, it's Vegas, as in Vagus. It's because the name is like basically is Latin, which means voyage, I believe. And it wanders. It wanders. It's a wandering cranial nerve. It's the 10th cranial nerve, which means it starts at the brain and the brain stem, and it's the longest nerve in the body. So it actually goes all the way from the brainstem, and it follows and it goes past the vocal folds all the way down, kind of connects up with our digestive system, believe it or not. So when we talk about gut feelings, all of this stuff, all of this is tied. And there's something that can really help us get our vagus nerve under control, especially if we've suffered with PTSD or CPTSD, which is childhood PTSD. They've got a new category for that now, but basically vagal toning is one way to assist to adjust our, kind of recalibrate, rebalance our vagus nerve, which has everything to do with fight and flight. So we want to go from fight or flight to rest and digest. Okay, this is why things like massage therapy are so helpful. It gets our body, it gives us the body feedback and say, you're okay, you're safe, you can relax. Okay. And so what's not normal is when we're in this stress cycle of constantly needing to perform, need to do stuff, need to accomplish, need to be, busy every minute of the day. There's no room for that rest and digest piece. So if you haven't had a massage lately, you might consider getting one. But another way to get into that vagal toning is things like humming. It sounds crazy, but it's really, I mean, it's not. I mean, the vagus nerve goes right past the vocal folds. So, and anything, you can just hum a little song, a little tune, whatever comes to you. It doesn't matter. You can sing if you feel like singing. I love to sing along with a song on the radio, especially the songs I grew up with. It's just fun to sing along. Toning, chanting. I mean, in many meditative traditions, there's chanting or toning, and breathing, really important also. No surprise, because again, the vagus nerve goes past the diaphragm. And meditating, all of these things can get us out of fight and flight to a rest and digest. So, you don't have to get fancy about this. I can even teach you something that's called a vocal fry, because I'm also a voice teacher. So it's not very pretty. It sounds awful. It feels kind of weird. It could clear the phlegm, by the way, but it's actually very releasing. And, you might not want to do this in the grocery store, but if you're in the car and you just were in the grocery store and you're really ticked off, this might help move some of that energy. Um, so any of that sort of thing. With breathing, there's so many different breathing techniques out there. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert. I teach breathing for singing, but in this case, this is called a Foursquare breath or Foursquare breathing. And basically, you just become aware of the breath in the body, and you which helps you go past the mind, the thinking mind, and the programming more to who we are and what's going on with us. So this Foursquare breathing is simply, I'll demonstrate it but it's on 4 counts, slow 4 counts of an in. I usually like to start with an exhale for 4 counts, a stop, an inhale for 4 counts, a stop, and then repeat the cycle. So let's do this together. So I'm going to blow out the air for 4. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Okay, so I said hold when, I wanted you to hold or pause. So just 4 counts. Those were kind of fast. You could do that for slower, but already I feel a shift because our breathing when we're anxious gets really shallow and our diaphragm is not dropping completely, allowing the lungs to fill with air. So there's this shallow, anxious kind of feeling to it. So even just paying attention to your breath can do wonders to get you back into a better, healthier place all the way around. Well, also, obviously, I'm a big proponent of the modality that I use, primarily in one-on-one sessions, although I've done it in group sessions as well. I do singing bowls, and we'll be getting to another sound bath in another week. But this work that I do is called Biofeel Tuning, and I know some of you have expressed some interest in knowing more about it. But Biofield Tuning basically helps you build your inner resilience. So you can still have bad things happen, people around in your world having terrible things happen, stressing you out. But you can deal with all of it better. It doesn't completely demolish you. And you're still able to make healthy choices and basically be healthier. You may not be ecstatically happy when this stuff happens, but you can go with the flow a little bit better. That's resilience. So that's a big part of the work. And another part of the work is just to get a boost, to get some inner clarity. We need oftentimes to work to clear some blocks. And you often need perspective from another person, another viewpoint, a witness too, someone to hold space with you. So the work I do is really a partnership along with intention, both my intention and the client's intention. We do the work together. This is not me waving a magic wand and making it all better and making it go away. I've hear people saying, just clear it, please do whatever you need to do to clear it. And actually, you have to feel it to heal it. And for that to happen, you have to be a participant. You have to be actively involved. And that means going deeper. And it's not necessarily comfortable and it's not necessarily easy. And it doesn't mean you're not going to feel crappy, because actually with this work, sometimes you feel worse before you feel better. But that is a necessary part because we're actually taking the trash out, if you like. I just came up with that image. It's like taking the trash out. If you let it sit, it's going to rot. And eventually, it'll just take over your house if you don't take it out. I mean, this is like, you got to take it out, and you got to take it out regularly. And we know exactly where to take it out. I don't know how far I'm going to go with this metaphor, but anyway, that idea, okay? You get the gist. All this trash, and it's cluttering our minds too. So we're working the vagus nerve when we work with sound. And it's critical in this work to let go of the old stories as much as possible. They're there. We all know they're there. That's why I do this work, because If we didn't have them, we wouldn't need it. But the plane's going on overhead, sorry. But, we can't be in this place of, I don't know what to do, I'm completely stuck. Well, we can be stuck, but this sense of being, completely uh, a victim to our circumstances. The truth is, we all have choices. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter how bad our life is. We all have choices. And I'll never forget a therapist who told me years and years ago, and I actually laughed when she told me, because I thought this was ludicrous. Like, that's crazy. This is a difficult problem, whatever it was I had. I don't even remember what it was. And she said, there's 10 solutions to every problem. And I go, what? That's not possible. No, there are. And sure enough, when I started to really pull at the thread of, okay, so what are my options? What can I do? I'd come up with a list. So even when it seems like it's impossible and we're not, even sure where to turn, we do have options. We do have choices. And since this group is about empowered empaths and empowered empath entrepreneurs, I really feel strongly that the best way to address the things that we're stuck with or feel burdened by is to take a step in the direction of releasing that. We need to get help, and we need to own our own power. And without that, nothing is going to change. We can talk until we're blue in the face. We can process till we're blue in the face. And there's place for therapy, absolutely. I'm not against therapy. I did it for 20 years. But I do think this work helps move things along. So what happens in a typical biofield tuning session is we're working basically the chakras, but not just over the body. We're actually working the field 6 feet away from the body, starting at the outer edge of the field, like rings on a tree or rings on a record. If like tracks, well, not tracks, I guess, you have to think the old fashioned records. Okay. Like an LP or whatever. Um, I grew up with them. Yes. That's how old I am. But anyway, this needle, right? Okay. We're just moving the needle a little bit. And all of a sudden, oh, the tuning fork picks up something that happened at 9 years old. Like, I may not even know what it is. Sometimes I get a sense for it. But then with the power of the tuning forks and my intention and the client's intention, we're able to move just a little bit of that stuck energy. And so this could be working any of the chakras. This could be working on the heart chakra. It could be working on the throat chakra. It could be working on the sacral chakra. It doesn't matter. But it's all along the spine, all where the endocrine system is, where the nerves go, where our spine is. All of this is tied. And then no wonder that people will feel a physical effect when I'm working. This happens virtually. I literally just had this happen with a client just minutes ago. We're thousands of miles apart, and this person could feel that I was working on that area. They felt physical sensations in the area I was working in, and sometimes, in related areas as well. So it's not always just that specific area. This is a lot of times people have physical symptoms, and it's energetic. It's an energetic block that is manifesting. I can attest to this. I've had fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue for years, decades. And I get up early in the morning. I'm not jumping around, but I'm up in the early morning. I sleep really, really well. I don't take any medications. Whereas before I had to. This work is powerful, and I can personally attest to that, and I have other clients that can attest to that. So we're back to, we all have choices. And also following your passion, which is about following the ahs, not the ughs. And that's from Eileen McCusick, the founder of Biofield Tuning. I mean, she's all about that. If something really doesn't, if you don't want to get out of the bed in the morning, there's something not right? I mean, whether it's your job or whether it's something else happening in your life or your relationship, we all need to follow the Oz, or AHS, by the way, not Wizard of Oz. But this other piece, I'm thinking of, I knew I was going to space on his name. You'll probably all know who I'm talking about. But follow your bliss. Joseph Campbell. There we go. Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss. That I used to watch that show, and that was a long time ago. But follow your bliss. That's that's what we're all here to do. And if we're not doing that, then what are we doing? And what are we spending our time and our energy doing? And is it worth it? And life is short. Yes, it is. It goes by in an instant. So basically, we have no time to lose. This is the truth. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're feeling stuck, you can feel free to get on a call with me to explore what your main block is, and I will spend some time releasing it, just like I did a little while ago with somebody, and we release some of the energy that's locked up there, and you'll feel it. I have yet to have anybody that doesn't feel this. Then if it's a good fit and you choose to work with me, we will talk about how you can do that. So I'm here, I'm available, just message me, and I can easily send you my booking link, and you can get on my calendar and we can talk about how I can work with you. So that's basically what I had to share with you today. And I hope you do take really good care of yourself today and going through the weekend. I hope you find some time for some enjoyment. I know I'm going to go for a hike right after this. I'm going to grab lunch and go for a hike. And, I really want you to take good care of yourselves and really listen to yourself and really pay attention to what's going on in the moment right here and now, and not get caught up into the mind and the stories, because that keeps us stuck, and that only attracts more of that into our lives. So like this bird singing, it's telling me life is joyful. Life is here to be enjoyed. And if you're not enjoying your life, what are you doing about it? I think that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Everybody take good care. I will be glad to talk with you, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, and take care. Have a great weekend.